Hello everybody. So a quick video today inspired by Bank of America. Bank of America downgraded SoFi. You may know that SoFi is one of my big positions. I'm a big believer in SoFi and other companies that disrupt brick-and-mortar. And my thesis is so simple. It's not even funny. And you know, simple is kind of the best way for me to invest and to explain an investment thesis. And when I look at a company like Bank of America, they downgrade SoFi about once a year. So they downgraded 2022, 2023, 2024. You almost wonder if there is a bias from the old legacy retail branch type bank towards the new hip Gen Z targeted modern day bank. And so if you look at the analogy here, of course, Bank of America has 4,000 branches, about 15,000 ATMs. SoFi has 0 branches, 0 ATMs. One of them has 9.4 million customers. They doubled that number of customers in 15 months, something like that. Bank of America, on the other hand, is rather flat in terms of its customers, 69 million. It's a bank that can only grow by acquisition, like most big banks. They can only grow via acquisition. They need a green flag for a regulator. But more importantly, if you look at the 69 million customers, only 46 million of them are active online users, which means that the rest of the users that are not those active online users, well, they need access to those branches. They need access to those ATMs. And in my view, these customers are largely the way of the past. And that's not the problem. You can have a value stock in the market. You can have an old world company in the market, but it just doesn't fit my style of investing. My style of investing is about the next big thing. It's not about maintaining a network of branches to deal with customers who are maybe in their 80s and who have not adopted online tech yet. My view, of course, is that over the long run, all banking will be digital and all users will be active online users. And when you start comparing SoFi to any of the big 5 too big to fail banks, you realize that as far as online users go, SoFi is actually doing outstanding with 9.4 million customers, all online, all digital banking. And you know, I want to point out also the myopia of a lot of these old world companies that are too big to fail. They keep doubling down on the branches, and I guess I don't understand that. I don't understand why a store double downs on brick and mortar. That was the Blockbuster story. That was the story of Walgreens and CVS. They're now cutting back on the stores and shutting down the stores. But typically, when you're in this world and you're myopic in your management and you don't look at what other companies do, you're gonna double down. So you have JP Morgan Chase who's doubling down on the branches. They say they focus on low income areas, and so they're building their expensive branches to serve certain areas. Bank of America is the same way. They are building new branches, 165 financial centers. Of course, they want to expand, but it's costly. It's so costly to expand. It's so much more costly. I'm all about serving all customers, but it's so much easier to go after a banking customer via, say, a Cash App, and you give them $10 to sign up. That's your customer acquisition cost. It's much easier to do that than to build a standalone branch that it's going to cost, $5 million or something just to build a standalone branch. And how much business do you really need to get from these rural areas, the rural towns, in order for you to even make a profit on building that new branch? I think a lot of these companies are just too myopic and not growing in the way of the future. Also, dematerialization. This is a video about dematerialization. I could make a full case that a business can thrive online solely because of the cost savings that they don't have to incur because of theft. And theft online, it's very, 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 very much less common. There's a little bit of package theft, but it's much less common than, say, shrink in retail, which they romantically call shrink or theft at the retail location, at the retail stores. And you may think this doesn't impact the banks, but in fact, you may know this. This is a major trend. I see it pop up on social media quite often, where you'll have a forklift, somebody steals a forklift, somebody steals a truck, and what they do is they use the forklift, they get the ATM out. It's 4 in the morning. Nobody. I mean, for the time of the police to show up, they're already gone, right? There's a forklift, 2 shoots on the ATM, and then they load the ATM onto the truck, and then they go somewhere. I don't know where they go, but this is all over America. Perhaps more importantly, there was a glitch at Chase, on which Chase has not really commented on, but the glitch was that once you cashed a fake check, they would allow you to get the money back out right away. And of course, a lot of people engage in fraud with Chase. That is theft. As much as I criticize the bank on a daily basis, that is still theft. They shouldn't have done that, but you have a bunch of people got viral on social media. They started writing fake check and defrauding, in this very case, defrauding Chase, and we don't know how much Chase lost. But if you look at the unlimited money glitch of Chase that was going viral, well, they're gonna sue people. But if someone writes themselves a fake check for $100,000, they get the money out, they spend it all. Then where's the money? Where's the money going? And you had lines at Chase ATM. So when that viral TikTok thing was going on, we're just taking the money. I mean, literally theft. This is both examples of theft. So you have theft in retail. Whether it's a bank, whether it's a physical store, you have theft, and you have to deal with that. And that's why selling online is in my view so superior. And in my style of investing, I'm all about looking for the stores that sell online. Of course, you may know one of my big stocks that I love is Hims. Hims sells online. Here I tried to be fair because of course. Pharmacy is typically sold at the counter, right, in the prescription, so it's tougher to steal, of course. But if you look at any other over-counter stuff, which Hims has a thriving over-the-counter business, you can see it's listed on Amazon. Hims doesn't have to worry as much about that. But if you go to a CVS, it's everything. It's behind these closed windows, closed doors, and so you have to call the staff, you have to wait for the staff, you walk to the register, and you have to pay right here, right there. This is how they do it in these stores. This is not the way of the 21st century, in my view, and this is especially not the way that Gen Z is going to take. Gen Z is not going to fall for that experience. They're just going to buy stuff online, and that's why I want to stay away for retail. I could have made the same case. One of the Tesla thesis I don't cover too much, but Tesla is my second biggest stock, my second biggest position. Of course, more than enough channels out there cover Tesla. But one of the forgotten theses of Tesla is the fact that they're still the main brand that you can buy online. Like some people are specifically trying to avoid the dealership experience. They're specifically trying to avoid the dealership experience, the whole dance that you have to do with the expert salesman, and you're kind of captive. That whole experience. You have a whole bunch of people like Gen Z who don't want to do the experience. That's the last thing they want to do. And these people, well, guess what? They're more likely to buy a Tesla just because they don't have to walk into a dealership. And if you look at the surveys, people would much prefer fly in the middle seat, or would much prefer get a root canal than go to the dealership. It's a horrible experience. They want to get out of it. They want to do online. So that's why I'm all about online retail. Brick and mortar, in my view, is the way of the past. And let me conclude this video really quickly with some, of course, more further out examples. But if you travel to Asia, to China, if you see what's going on there, it's extremely much more advanced over there. That people just order stuff and get it delivered at the house, get it delivered at the park, but they just don't want to sit at restaurants. And I think this is going to be part of the next wave of dematerialization. We might have very, very much fewer restaurants and restaurant space, and a lot of people are just going to turn to these apps and get their food made and delivered to them where they can eat at home cozily, and they don't have to deal with perhaps some of the loudness of a restaurant experience. So I think, and that's also, of course, part of Gen Z. Over Gen Z, we're trying to just not have this contact. And of course, Gen Z has been taught that with the culture of video games, the culture of online communities, etc., etc. So I think that's kind of part of a story, and of course part of a bigger story is the replacement of banking altogether by blockchain, and I would argue the replacement of many infrastructures by blockchain, and the replacement, of course, of many forms of works and labors and employees by AI agents. And so we live in a world. This is J.P. Morgan's new tower. We are still building it. I think they still have a few years to go to fully finish that tower. Of course, tens of thousands of employees, biological workers are expected, and I believe that's not the way of the future. In my view, the way of the future is a blockchain, a few key managers, and then these managers manage maybe 100 agents, 100 AI agents under one biological agent. That's kind of the way I view the future. So again, it's another form of dematerialization, which I think we are not seeing. These two obviously are a little more out in the future and may or may not materialize, but these are happening right now. These are happening right now. These are problems right now, and that's why I want my companies to not be invested in brick and mortar. Brick and mortar is not the way of the future, and as far as my investment is concerned, I do not think we need brick and mortar type businesses. Thank you, Bank of America, for downgrading SoFi and inspiring today's video. This was not financial advice, not investment advice. This is just entertainment. Hoping you were entertained. Please like, please subscribe. Thanks for watching, and have a wonderful day.